Hey. So I thought I would do a video on my heart situation because people have been asking how I'm doing. So I thought I'd do a quick little video on that. So for people just tuning in April of last year, 2022, I was diagnosed with microvascular coronary artery disease and also familial cholesterolemia or something like that, which is a genetic cholesterol issue. And my blood was kind of thick. So all three of those things are causing me a little bit of problem. So I started noticing when we hiked the Appalachian Trail and I was going up, the when I have the episode, I could do a lot. I very rarely have an episode where I'm struggling with my heart. But if I get my heart rate to a certain point, which takes a lot to get it there, but if I get there, then I have an issue. And it feels like a cramp in my heart, like my heart is spasming. I mean, it hurts. My heart hurts. I can't breathe. I can't catch my breath. It's like I don't get the blood flow, enough blood flow to meet the demand at that time. And so I can't get oxygen. I have to stop. I mean, it stops me. And then as soon as my heart rate goes down, I'm good. So I noticed it on the Appalachian Trail when we were doing the Mahoosuc Arm, because it's straight up and I was going really fast because you feel good. You just start going. You're always just able to do that. But I felt really bad at the top, and I thought, man, something's just not right. But I'd never had another episode. It wasn't that something was happening all the time, and I thought, well, maybe I'm just tired or something. So then when we got home from the Appalachian Trail, we always hiked the Manitou Incline as a training get in shape. But it's straight up the side of the mountain. If anything gets your heart rate up, it's it. Like immediately you get your heart rate up on that. So I thought, man, I can't wait to try and see I'm in great shape, see if it's any easier to do the incline. So I take off and I just had a horrible time. Annette takes off, she's just going. I am barely making it. I have to stop. I don't know how many times. I'm doubled over. I push myself, which is probably not smart, but at the time I didn't know. But I pushed myself really hard to get to the top. I said to him, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. My heart hurts. I can't breathe. I can't get any oxygen. I was wiped out. So after that, I had a physical already set up. So I talked about it with my doctor, and they sent me to do a stress test. And I did fine on that. They said there was nothing wrong. And I knew there's something wrong because it's different. Your heart doesn't hurt like that. I mean, but I just kept going and, figuring I'll just deal with it. So I hiked the Continental Divide Trail. Didn't really have a problem. I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. Didn't really have a problem. A couple of times. I mean, in the Sierras, a couple of times I said, you guys, I got to just manage this heart thing, so I'm going to go slow up this climb if it was a steep climb, and I just managed it. So I did the best I could with that. There was when the PCT closed and we had to go home. We went to Colorado and did that collegiate loop, and then we went back and finished the PCT. It was closed because of the fires. But anyway, when I was doing that collegiate loop, I felt really bad. There was a couple of times where I just pushed myself hard and went up that mountain, and then it's high altitude, and I was struggling a little bit there. So then, I come back and I'm hiking, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I mean, it takes a lot to get me to that point, so I can do a lot without any issue at all. But we were hiking in Arizona, and we did that Picacho Peak where you're going straight up a couple of times on those cables, and I'm just pushing myself hard, just going fast, and I have another episode. So when we get back to Colorado, I went to the emergency room, and they did every test you can think. They even went in and checked my main arteries, and were ready to put a stent in if I needed to, but I didn't have any problems with my main arteries. Said my heart looked great. It's smaller arteries that are narrowing, and then I have the thick blood that makes that harder. So anyway, from that, I've been treating with medication. Here I was not taking any meds. Now I'm taking 3, but I took one for cholesterol, one to dilate my arteries, and one to thin my blood, like an aspirin to thin my blood. So started doing that in April. I have not had any issue with the medication at all. No side effects that I'm aware of. I feel fine. I just did all of my lab work, and my bad cholesterol is down, my good cholesterol is up, My liver functions look fine. Nothing's showing any problems. So that's been good. And then I've just kind of tweaked my diet a little bit. My diet wasn't bad, but I tried to, I'm not adding any, a lot of any extra fats, any extra salt, any, cutting out sweets. I didn't really do a lot of that, but just monitoring some of that. But I feel great that way. So then we biked all summer last summer, and I did not have a problem biking. There was one time we were pushing our bike up this big hill coming out of this little town we stayed in, and I was pushing and going really fast, and I started feeling like my heart was struggling, so I stopped, slowed down. So, but overall, no problem. And then a couple of times hiking since we've been back, if I'm going really steep and really fast, I start noticing something. So my goal now, this is what I'm working on. This is I have to learn a new strategy. I have to keep my heart rate right at that threshold or below where it starts having a problem. I can't push myself to that heart rate and just keep pushing anymore. My goal is to do what I can to keep it right at that threshold and under. And so that means on those really steep climbs that I just have to slow down. I might have to stop. I might have to just kind of keep maintaining that heart rate below that threshold, and I think I'll be fine. But it is something you have to work on, because I feel physically like I could just go, and I'm going to have to create another strategy there and do it a little different. So this Arizona Trail is going to be really, it's going to be a good experience for me to try to learn. It has a lot of elevation, a lot of climbing. It's difficult, rated difficult in certain areas. So I'm going to see how I do and practice my new strategy of trying to maintain under that threshold. I know I'm going to have to slow down on those real steep pitches and just see how slow I have to go. I mean, it's just going to be a learning experience for me. But that's my goal. That's my plan. And then when we get to Slovenia is really steep, that trail we want to do, and there's scrambling at the top. And so I'm going to have a strategy in place to kind of get through that too. So anyway, I think I'm doing great overall. I still have an issue. So I just have to manage it and pay attention to it and try to be smart about it. I'm going to see if I can still live the life I want to live. I mean, I should be able to, and just put a strategy in on where I have a problem and just kind of make a plan there. But I feel good about it. So years ago, I was diagnosed with this cholesterol issue. We all have it. It's a family thing. We all deal with it. And I had read that the statins are really bad for you. They don't really do any kind of trials on women back then, and it's probably still don't. But so you really don't know really what's good for you, what isn't. And I just thought, well, I'll just tweak my diet a little bit, keep working on it that way. And I didn't treat it. I tried a statin, and I kind of didn't feel that great on it, but it might have been in my head that I wasn't going to, I don't know, but I didn't really give it a fair shot. But I'm paying the price now. So I'm just really glad that I'm able to treat it and take the medication now and able to treat it and kind of go forward with that. But, it's kind of a decision I made, and, the meds might be bad for you, but it was bad for me to not take them too. I mean, sometimes you're just kind of in that situation. So, anyway, I feel like I'm on a really good plan now, and I'm excited to keep, to kind of figure this out and kind of, you can't dwell on what life hands you. You know what I mean? There's things all the time that you're going to be dealing with, especially as we get older. There's just more and more things that you deal with. And I just want to my focus is to always kind of just find a solution and do the best I can with what I have. And so I'm hoping that I'm able to climb and do the trips I want to do and feel good about it. And if I figure out something where I need to try something different, I'm just kind of in a learning process. So anyway, I'll let you guys know how I do and keep you updated. I'll let you know when I'm out there on the Arizona Trail how I'm feeling and what my challenges are with it. But I'm not going to let this limit my life. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could still do a lot of stuff, and I just have to be smart about it. I mean, it's my heart, but just I can't like let it limit my life. I've got to live my life and do the best I can with what I have. So anyway, all right. I appreciate you guys asking about it though. Thanks so much. And I'm doing great. So as far as the diet, I had a lot of information when I first put the first video out when I was diagnosed, and a lot of people sent in information about different diets, plant-based diets, which I kind of follow a plant-based diet, have for years. Not totally. I've never been like extreme on anything. I've never like totally said, this is how I eat, and I don't ever eat meat, because every once in a while we'll have a hamburger when we're out there hiking. I find my diet out there hiking is a lot different than I am at home, but I read info on a lot of the diets, the Eccleston's diet, and I'm not fully committed to that. It's a little extreme to me. I'm using a lot from that info, but it's really hard. It was really hard for me to find foods to eat that I could continue to eat. I could do it for a little bit, especially like when you're traveling and you're out there on these backpacking trips. Like, I'm trying to figure out my diet for my backpacking trip, because if I would eat a lot of nuts, dried fruit, peanut butter. I mean, if every single thing I ate on the through hiking would not be allowed on that Eccleston diet, nothing that I ate. Avocados, they say you can't eat anything, even the good fats. So it's a little extreme, and I don't, and so you have to be able to eat something. I mean, you could get these powdered veggie drink or whatever, but it doesn't really fit what I want to do. So I'm not 100% committed to that diet. I'm using parts of it that I'm just kind of making up my own with what fits me and what I'm able to do, what I feel like doing. But it's good information, and I've applied a lot of it. I don't, some things I've tweaked just in my normal life. I eat a lot of, normally I would eat a lot of like fruit and yogurt, nuts, salads with quinoa, olive oil, balsamic vinegar dressing. Those are kinds of things that we would eat. I would eat peanut butter. I'd have apples with peanut. I would eat all that stuff. Now, according to that diet, I wouldn't be able to eat any of that stuff. I could eat the salad, but not the salad dressing. So I've kind of cut out using salad dressing. I squeeze a lemon on my salad. That I can do that. That works. I've cut out using butter on anything. So I've tweaked some stuff, but I'll still eat nuts. I'm planning on bringing nuts with me when I'm hiking. I still eat avocados because I think it's good for your good cholesterol. I mean, I kind of have continued to do that, and I don't do that all the time, but I haven't totally cut it out. So I'm kind of in a place of trying to figure out my own, by taking information from different things and kind of getting something that works for me and something that I can do consistently. And it's been hard, and I'm still in that process too. But figuring out what to eat out there, I mean, that peanut butter saved me out there. I had a jar of peanut butter, and I would take spoonfuls of peanut butter. I might still do it. I mean, but I'm kind of trying to figure out, I would have tuna and a tortilla. Well, on that diet, I couldn't do that. I couldn't eat tuna or that tortilla. I could eat maybe a whole wheat one with, I don't even know what I would put on it. I'd have to have fresh veggies, which I could do, but it's hard to carry those, and it doesn't give you enough energy, so I have to figure that out. I mean, even hummus. I would take hummus, and on that particular diet, you can't even have hummus because it has oils in it, and you can't have any oils. I mean, it's just a little bit extreme. So anyway, I feel good about what I'm doing right now. I'm going to try to kind of do some different things with my, I've kind of cut out dairy. I'm using a different milk, either almond milk or oat milk or something. I'm kind of cutting back on dairy. I've done a lot, but there's a lot I'm still learning and working on, and I'm just figuring out my backpacking strategy on what I'm going to take, and I'll figure it out. I'm not that concerned about it, but I am looking at it, so anyway, I'll let you know how it's going when I'm doing this Arizona trail, and just see how I feel, and how I'm able to manage it as I'm doing those things. But anyway, all right. Well, that's our plan. That's my plan. And I told Annette we might need to be recertified in CPR, just in case she needs to do CPR on me sometime. It's not funny, but you never know.